right, Mark, I'm so happy to have you here.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
No, I'm excited too. I couldn't be more excited. Obviously, you and I met on Shark Tank, which was, I don't know, a couple of years back now. I had the distinct pleasure of sitting next to you for 3 seasons.
Yeah, they always put the rookies next to me.
Yes, they do. Well, I asked as well. I was like,
did you? Oh, good.
Well, it was just a very good use of my time if during the pitches or between the pitches, I could just like sit and quiz you on things, which I did. But obviously, you've stepped away after so many years. What was it, 14 seasons? 15 seasons.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of unbelievable. How did you even know that it was time to step away?
I mean, I'd been missing my son's birthdays every year because we shot a pod right at his birthday.
Mm-hmm.
I missed them going back to school, finishing school. And, it was always, okay, we can't do this till Dad's done with Shark Tank. And it was just the time. My kids are 15, 18, and 21. And, my oldest is going to graduate from college next year. I just don't want to be in a position where okay, I'm going to Shark Tank and they're gone and I missed a lot of it. And so that was one big piece, just spending more time with family and it was just time. You can only do the same thing for so long. Yeah.
But it's interesting because you hear so many stories about women that give up certain things in work for the family, but not so many men talk about that and the trade-offs that come along with working in that way. So it's kind of interesting to hear you admit it in a way.
Yeah, I guess I never really looked at it that way. It's just this is, when I look at all the things in my life that are important to me, that's at the top, and that wasn't always the case. I wasn't one of these people who balanced work and home. I was still a grinder, and when I was trying to climb, it was just let's go, 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 go.
Mm-hmm.
And, let's get into the next chapter. Let's get to the next level, whatever it was. And you know what it's like. You have young kids, right? And they're real people, but they're not real people.
Yes.
Right? They miss you, but they don't know that you're gone, really, and they're happy when you're home.
It's harder as they get older.
As they get older, they have their own lives and they want to do their own thing. And it's harder to insert yourself. It's I don't want you there, Dad, and then when that hits home.
Why did you stay for so long?
It kind of habit but more importantly, it sent a message, particularly to kids, that the American dream was alive and well.
Mm-hmm.
That, you saw all the people, that came in, Erica from Limbits, it's how do you get from there to here? And the example that it sets, all these things we're talking about, when you get to see somebody who's doing it, that went from just idea, didn't have anything.
Totally.
Boom, and just got
I say this all the time. It's you cannot be what you don't see. And for me,
that's a great line.
It's a nice line, isn't it? But to me, it's so true because you have to be able to have, a representation of people that feel similar to you, that you can see yourself in. And every time I did that show, to me,
you don't see.
But it's true, isn't it? So
that should be the tagline for Shark Tank. It really should be. It really should be.
Do you feel like you made a lot of sacrifices? Have you been able to kind of, I guess, level with yourself on the sacrifices that you have made?
Yeah, I mean, I don't look at them as sacrifices along the way because I love what I do. I love what I did. I love the path that I took. But at some point, I had to be honest with myself that my kids are smart. They're going to do their own thing.
Mm-hmm.
We raised them to be independent. And they're going to leave the house.
Yes.
And they're not going to give a shit.
That's it.
They'll go home for holidays and that'll kill me, And so I want to catch as many of those moments as I can. Maybe when they're all gone, living their own lives, have their own kids and all that, things will change. But for now, that was the path.
It's a really good decision. It feels like a sound one. I want to go back to the
sure?
beginning. I think it's a
okay
good decision. I'm at ease with it. I mean, I will miss you from my TV screen. That's
right.
I feel like you were the reason that people watch that show.
I don't think so.
I mean, you're one of the big reasons. You must know that about yourself. You were a huge draw on the show. I don't feel like anyone gives as good a honest advice as you do. And so I feel like you're a massive draw on that.
Yeah, I appreciate that. But I always thought it was the entrepreneurs, right? Everybody played the game. What are would I buy that company? Would I invest?
Mm-hmm.
What do I think about the company? Will I buy the product? And then, I would talk my talk and do my thing, which I had fun doing, right?
Yeah.
But I still think, the show will go on because it's about the entrepreneurs.
No doubt. I just feel like the advice that you gave was the stuff that people was writing down.
Yeah, and I always try to give good
that.
advice, right?
You did.
Because I wanted, their whole life, you know what it's like, right? You start with nothing and it's just it's constant fear.
Mm-hmm.
You might be fired up about your business and you might love it. And you might, in your mind, you have that path you're taking, but you're scared shitless half the time.
Yeah.
One mistake and it's over. And so when they get to that carpet and they're one of, the thousands of people who applied and they get there, if I have experience that can help them, I'm going to give it to them.
100%. I always felt the same like that. If somebody has made it here, the very least I could do was be honest.
Yes.
And tell them what
And
my
you
actual
always
opinion
were.
is. Yeah. And they can at least leave with something, even if they don't leave with an investment.
Because that's the goal, right? Even
Yes.
if it's not a check, right? Because that's the thing about a shark investing in you. It's not just the check.
No.
There's other value and other value add that you can bring. And you were always really good about that. When they brought somebody that was in your wheelhouse, I was like,
I'm ready.
I'm out. Just let Emma do her thing, right?
You were always like, do this one. I mean, like, Mom said I should do it.
I know, because you're good, right? It's just like, I can see the look on the face and they're staring right at you.
Right. Like, no,
right?
They do. When they want you, they're like right in your ears and you're like, oh, it's me. I'm the chosen one.
Come on. Yeah,
and then sometimes you're like, I ain't doing this. I don't care how much you eyeball me. I'm like, this ain't for Mark, you doing this?
Anything, because that's the hardest part of Shark Tank is going out.
I know. It's the hardest part. It really is. And also you feel, I'm such an emotional girl, but I really felt you can see how nervous they are, how much they've prepared. And to walk out with seemingly nothing, it's a lot.
Well, the visibility is always good. And some of the companies end up better, right? Because someone else comes in and makes them a better deal or buys them whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But you always had this vibe, which was like, I know your business. I could help you.
Yes.
The question is, will I?
Will I?
Yeah.
Will I? I mean, you helped a lot of people. We're going to get into that. But before we talk any more about Shark Tank, I have to go back to the beginning because you are such a fascinating person. And while I was doing the research for this particular episode, I mean, I learned a lot about it. I thought I was a fan and I knew everything. No apologies needed. I was like, wow, he has done a lot, the most. But I really want to understand a little bit more about your upbringing and where you were from. And also just to understand what gave you the entrepreneurial bug? Like, who did you learn that from?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't learn it from anybody. It was more my dad in particular and my mom just saying, look, if you want something, you got to earn it. You got to go do it. From the time I was a kid, I grew up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. My dad did upholstery on cars. So if you had a rip in your car seat, that's where you take it. My mom did odd jobs, never had the same job for very long. Good middle-class family.
Mm-hmm.
But it was always like, you want a new pair of basketball shoes? You go get a job. So I would buy and sell trading cards. I was Michael Rubin before Michael Rubin was Michael Rubin. Right?
I had Michael Rubin on the show.
I saw,
it was like an attack.
Yeah.
But it's interesting that you say you were Michael Rubin before Michael Rubin because you have a very similar path in so many ways.
He hustled and he did his own thing, right?
Yes.
That's why I respect Michael. And so, but anyway, so I would buy and sell trading cards to all my neighbors and everything. And then one day, my dad and his buddies were playing poker. It was probably drunk out of their mind, right? And I came in and I was like, Dad, I want to get a new pair of basketball shoes. He looks at me and he says, those shoes on your feet work. When you have a job, you can get whatever you want. I'm like, I'm 12 years old. How am I going to get a job? And one of his buddies pops up and goes, hey, I've got all these garbage bags and you can sell them. They're boxes of garbage bags. I got hundreds of them. Why don't you go sell them? I'm like, can I, Dad? He's like, cool. And so I just went door to door selling garbage bags. And it was like, hi, my name is Mark. Do you use garbage bags?
And everybody does, by the way.
Everybody needs garbage bags. So I'll never forget, they cost me $3 a box. I sold them for $6, and I would drag them down to my neighbors, the world's first garbage bag route for, a year or whatever. And I got my tennis shoes and I was happy.
Amazing.
But once you learn that, that you can sell, and once you learn you have confidence in talking to people, you always have the ability to make money.
Yes, you do. I mean, and obviously understanding that from your parents for a young age must have been pretty formative. What else did they teach you?
My dad was gone at 7 a.m. and home at 6. And, he didn't want me to follow his path, basically. He would take me where he worked and, I'd get $5 for sweeping the floor and cleaning things, not because he wanted me to make some money or whatever, but it was more, he wanted me to see how backbreaking it was. Yeah. He lost his eye in an accident. And,
he did.
Yeah, and just, it was backbreaking work. And he wanted me to go to college. I mean, neither of my parents had gone to, even though my mom, when she was 50, went back, but neither of my parents had gone to college. My mom was 20 when I was born. I mean, it was just the prototypical,
different time.
Pittsburgh. Yeah, it was different times. And I just, from that moment on, I was a hustler, I was the whole prototypical grinding all my life, whether it was selling baseball cards, garbage bags, magazines door to door,
Coins, stamps I read,
all
all the
that
things,
stuff.
all
I
the
would go to a
things.
stamp show, right? And start with 50 cents and leave with $50.
Amazing,
right? You know, and
amazing.
once you figure out, this is how markets work and you can sell.
But you had it, right? It's like, when did the hustle turn into a thirst for entrepreneurialism?
After I realized I was a lousy employee and I was getting fired or couldn't stand it, then I had no choice.
It's always a signal, isn't it? You're like,
yeah.
okay.
They're like, see ya, right? When it really hit was, I moved down to Dallas. I was living 6 guys in a 3-bedroom apartment, sleeping on the floor. And I'd gotten a job first as a bartender. Then I got a day job working at a company called Your Business Software selling technology. And, I didn't really know technology at the time, but I was like, I'll read the manuals, I'll do whatever. And it was going along great. I was making money, relatively speaking. And then I had a chance to get a big commission, right? So I had a chance to pick up.
What was a big commission back then?
$1,500.
Oh.
Because that was enough for me to move out of the shithole I lived in. Because I was sleeping on the floor.
Get away from the 6 other guys.
3-bedroom apartment, right? And so I was like, okay, this will get me out. And so I called my boss and I'm like, okay, I'm going to go pick up this check. Because I'm supposed to, sweep the floor, open up the retail store. He's like, no, I need you at the store. I'm like, Michael Umecki was his name. I got you covered, right? And he goes, no, I need you to be in the store. So I'm like, okay, I need this commission check. If I go pick up a check for 15 grand, the store needed it, he needed it. I show up, he fires me.
Ah.
Yeah. So I'm done there. I'm like, okay, I got to control my own destiny. I know I can sell. I know I can do this stuff. So I had a prospect, a company called Architectural Lighting. And I went to them and I said, look, I'm broke, right? I don't have the money for this
How
software.
old are you at this point?
24.
Okay.
So I'd been through jobs and bounced. And so it's 24, almost 24. And so I went to this company, Architectural Lighting, and I said, this software that you want costs $250. If you give me $500, so I have something to live off for a couple of weeks, if it doesn't work, I'll walk your dog, I'll sweep your floor, I'll wash your car.
Whatever it takes.
And it worked. And then I did something similar for the next one and the next one and the next one. And that was the company Micro Solutions. And I went 7 years without a vacation, but eighth year in, we sold it to H&R Block. And that was my first exit. Yeah.
That's so crazy.
Yeah,
was that
crazy.
your first big yes? Like, was
Yes.
that the moment you're like, I understand that I am good at something
Yes.
and I have a path here?
Yes. Yeah. Because then once I got into tech, that was it. It was over because I loved learning it, because the way I looked at it, because I didn't take computer science. So I was like, okay, I get this because I like to learn this stuff. And I like, even to this minute, like putting in time to learn technology, it's fun to me. Like my brain just clicks with it and I get excited about it. Okay, I'm learning this new. And when you're learning stuff like that and you have, a sales background and a process background, you can start applying everything that you know to, like Shark Tank Company, right? When Shark Tank Company walks in a minute, I know exactly how they make money and what they do and what technology works and doesn't. And, that allowed me to be successful at Micro Solutions. After that, I bought and sold stocks, started a hedge fund and sold it within 9 months. We were just killing it, and so that's when I knew that I was on a path.
And what did you learn from Micro Solutions? Because that was like a different time from a technology perspective,
brand
right?
new,
It was brand new and almost kind of like a wild, wild west in a way,
Yeah.
right? Like, what did you actually figure out that no one else had figured out at that
What
point?
separated us, I figured out really early on that it was one thing to sell a computer. It was another thing even to write software. And I taught myself how to code to put on
You taught
there.
yourself how to code. How did you do that at that time?
I would spend hours. Like I remember I would walk into a company and say, okay, this will help you become more profitable, more productive, more profitable, better competitive advantage, right? The whole spiel. And I'll write the software for you, and it'll cost you X amount of dollars. No matter how long it takes me, it'll be X amount of dollars. And so, the pressure was on me and I would find myself, I'd look up and I literally would have a bucket of ribs. It was gross.
Bucket of
Gross.
ribs.
And like towels. And I was just like, I gained like 20 pounds. Just chomp on these ribs. But I look up and it'd be 20 hours later, 25 hours later, because I was concentrating so hard, I lost track of time. And, and so I was able to take all that I learned. And then what I realized that really separated us was connecting PCs together was brand new. And back then people would have a floppy disk and they'd walk around, right? Or they couldn't even connect their printers. Now that seems insane, but I would go into these companies. I'm going to show you how I can connect all these printers and all these computers together. You can share data, become more profitable, and I'll write software to make it easier. And then I knew I won.
Have you always had that ability to like take, to really concentrate and focus and double down and take in and absorb information? Were you that type of student?
Yeah. Yes and no. Depends on the topic. If it was sports, yeah.
If it's something you enjoyed, you could do
I
it.
Liked, and once I realized I liked tech, because I had no idea. I had literally no idea.
But it's interesting that you say it was fun. Like, it's like it's something just like sports that you enjoyed. You were just gobbling up with the ribs all the information, right? But that's it. You were like, it was gross, fun for you. You were like, I'm doing it.
To this day, like to this minute, like if I have an extra minute, like now I'm learning all I can about AI. Because there's some 15-year-old kid that's just glomming onto this like it's second nature. And if I don't know it, he's going to kick my ass or she's going to kick my ass. Yeah. And if I do know it, I'm going to kick their ass, right?
Summer is when the world slows down just enough for you to get focused. And for me, that's when some of my best ideas have taken shape. Whether you're refining products, preparing for peak season, or leveling up your brand, Shopify helps make it seamless. I love that I can manage everything from fulfillment to product drops on the go, no matter where I am. The business keeps moving with me. We run Skims and Good American on Shopify. It's helped us build, scale, and grow with unbelievable ease. And I'm not just saying that. I can open up the app right now and see who's shopping, what's trending, and where people are buying from all around the world, no matter where I am. Whether you're testing a new idea or building the next big thing, Shopify is where you start. Visit shopify.com/aspire to launch your brand. This is your sign. Start your entrepreneurial journey right now with shopify.com/aspire. My entire feed lately has been a mashup of different wellness trends. 1 minute it's red light therapy, magically curing everything. The next it's taking olive oil shots before breakfast, like that's normal. Oh, and apparently cottage cheese is now a full-blown nutrition plan. Honestly, I say leave it to a professional. When it comes to my health, I want real advice from actual doctors, not TikTok. That's where ZocDoc comes in. It's a free app and website where you can search and compare high-quality, in-network doctors and instantly book an appointment. We're talking more than 100,000 doctors across every speciality, mental health, dental, primary care, you name it. There's no doubt that you'll enjoy ZocDoc. You can filter for providers who take your insurance, are nearby, and come highly rated by verified patients. Once you find the right doc, just click to book. Most appointments happen in 24 to 72 hours, some even same day. Stop putting off those doctor's appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/aspire to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com, ZocDoc.com/aspire, ZocDoc.com/aspire. I used to think making amazing and healthy meals at home meant spending a ton of money, or even worse, a ton of time in the kitchen, which can be difficult when you're juggling work and being a mum to 4. But Every Plate proved me wrong. Their meals are not only quick and easy, but they also taste so good. I just made their crispy buffalo ranch chicken with roasted potatoes, and it honestly tasted like something I'd order out, except it cost way less and I made it in under 30 minutes. Every Plate makes it easy to switch things up with a rotating menu of delicious recipes like cheesy Mexican street corn hash or sweet soy chicken stir fry. The instructions are clear, everything shows up right at your door, and you end up spending less than you would on your normal grocery haul or a single takeout order. Every Plate is the easiest way to up your dinner game without blowing your budget. What are you waiting for? Dig into these flavor-packed meals your household will love. New customers can enjoy this special offer of only $1.99 a meal. Go to everyplate.com/podcast and use Emma199 to get started. Applied as a discount on the first box, limited time only. I want to talk about broadcast.com. Obviously, it was an early internet radio startup, which feels like a total oxymoron now. I'm like, early internet radio startup.
It was the first streaming company, period.
But that was a massive turning point for you in your business
obviously.
life career.
Yeah. Like, my buddy Todd Wagner from Indiana, we were having lunch at California Pizza Kitchen. And he was like, there's got to be a way we can listen to Indiana basketball down here in Dallas. Because at the time...
Always solving for sports, Mark.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Because at the time, somebody in Bloomington, Indiana had to put a radio next to a speakerphone in their office. And then we would have a speakerphone down in Dallas. And that's how we listened to games.
No way it was not.
Yes. and now the internet was happening, and Mr. Geek here was like, okay, I know what networking is all about because that's what Micro Solutions did. Let me figure something out, because if it works, there's no distance, there's no time. You can watch anything or listen to anything anywhere. So we started as a company called AudioNet in 1995. And back then we called it internet broadcasting, and nobody was streaming, nobody. And we're like, oh, shit, okay, let's see what we can do. So I went to a local radio station, KLIF, and literally we connected a 8-hour VCR to their board, right? And took the output of the radio and recorded it on 8-hour VCR tapes, took it back to my house, encoded it, put it on our website, audionet.com. And I would go on all these forums and Prodigy and CompuServe and the internet. And I would say, hey, if you live in Dallas and if you're from Dallas and you want to know about Dallas sports and Dallas news, you have to do all these 5 steps, but then you can do it. And then first day, 10 people, next day, 100 people, next month, 1,000 people. And then we started adding more and more radio stations. And then, probably 6 months later, we were able to do live.
Did you know that was going to change your life? Were you
Yes.
like, this is the beginning?
Yes, because I remember having a meeting with everybody and saying, if this works the way I think it'll work, this company's worth $5 billion.
You knew that.
Without any doubt in my mind, because it changed everything. And everybody thought I was a moron, right? Dude, we'll turn on the television.
Yeah.
Dude, I'll just have to turn on the radio. But I'm like, in an office, you can't just do that. Like, there's no televisions here. There's no radios. Well, it's different now, but back then there weren't. And so it was the only media device on your desktop, and they had more bandwidth. So like, people would listen to Cubs games. People would listen to soccer, football from overseas, right? It was the only way they can get it. And back then the
Crazy to
laws were
me.
different. So I could just walk into Best Buy and buy 200 CDs and encode them and just put it on our jukebox, and people could listen to everything. We had, 400 plus radio stations. We played Christmas music on loop all year long. I mean, just all the stuff that you see on Spotify.
Yeah.
And then we got to video, all the stuff you see on YouTube. We were doing in 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, until we sold to Yahoo in 2000.
Which is insane.
Insane.
I mean, the idea that you sold that company to Yahoo for how much?
$5.7 billion.
So you were right. This is worth $5 billion.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
really was.
It turned out, yeah.
You're like, ka-ching.
Yeah,
Amazing.
ka-ching.
Did you have a bunch of partners at that point?
Well, we had gone public.
Right.
And so we went public in July of 1998. And at the time, the broadcast.com IPO was the biggest first day leap in the history of the stock market,
Wow.
which was so cool.
That's so cool.
Because like the minute we went public, and then the stock market closed, and it went from $18 up to 72, and then finished at 62.75. And all of a sudden, like, I was worth $300 million. So we went straight to a
Crazy.
bar, and we turned
you?
on, oh yeah. And so we had them turn on like CNN and all the networks. And every time they mentioned broadcast.com in the IPO, we took a shot. And we
You
couldn't
were
see.
smashed.
Yeah. Oh my God. I was-
Completely smashed.
and then we had to get back to work the next day because, like I told everybody,
yeah, well, you got to
like,
keep that stock price rising
right,
for sure.
and all these people trusted us.
Amazing.
They put their hard-earned money, and it worked out. Yeah.
So take me inside that Yahoo deal. Like, what did you learn? What did it teach you?
Well, there's a bunch of pieces there,
Mm.
right? We brought them in as an investor for only $1 million, like right after the IPO.
$1 million.
Yeah,
That
but that was a
it.
tiny, it was a tiny
Okay.
smidgen of the company. But we wanted access to the Yahoo website, and we just wanted the connection.
So that was like a valuable part. It wasn't necessarily about the finance.
No,
piece
it wasn't
of
a
it. It was
financial
like
investor. It was just strategic.
strategic.
Yeah. And so they were a strategic investor. And then all of a sudden, as our people that, they just did internet radio. No, like, we invented all these things that were different. And I wish I'd gotten patents. Yeah, it just kills me because it's so funny because I posted it on social. I found an old letter that our patent attorney had written, said, here's all the patents you could apply for. And back then I'm like, we're too busy. We're getting ready to sell the company. And like, everything that happens
Which is so
online.
crazy because whenever I hear this story about you, like, you only think about the success. You only think about, well, he built this company, he tied these
It
things
would have been
together, he
worth,
saw things nobody
somebody
else saw.
told me it probably is worth $10 trillion. Like, the whole
Does that haunt you? Does that bother you at all?
because I'm really well off, so I'm okay.
You're like, I'm good.
There's a lot of shit I've missed along the way that I have more money, but I'm good.
You're good.
in some respects, it pisses me off because people just think it was internet radio.
Yeah.
Right. And if I'd gotten
well, yeah,
all these
you don't get the credit that you should have for everything that came out of that company.
We started the whole thing. I mean, like literally, if Yahoo hadn't screwed it up, there'd be no Spotify, there'd be no YouTube.
But Mark, was it really about the time, like you not being able to actually like go out and get those patterns? Or did you actually understand what you were creating at that point?
I
and
knew
the value?
exactly what
you
we
did.
were creating and the value,
but you
for
just
sure.
couldn't go out
we
and
were
do
different than everybody else. We were
Mm.
kicking everybody's ass. I mean, we were a top 10 website, literally. Yeah, I mean, we had millions of users, millions of people were streaming. Like, we were, doing video online that nobody else could do or had done. It was fun.
And how big was the company? How many people at that point?
330.
Yeah, but you have to focus, right? Even with 300 people, it's like you've got your things that you're trying to achieve.
Yeah.
And you have to focus and double down on those
100%.
things. You didn't have time to go out and think about
it wasn't about all the
ancillary
esoteric stuff. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It was like, we have to win. It's a competitive business. And so we have to stay focused on being the best streamer, whatever the type of content.
Yeah.
But things like, inserted ads, things like, pop-up video ads in front of content, all these things that people do today, we were doing, and it's been 30 fucking years. It's insane.
God, it actually is insane to even think about. So
I mean,
you actually, like, there's so much of what we take for granted now that you guys just invented at that point.
Yeah.
I can't even believe that. I wonder, so when you get this Yahoo deal, did it turn out as you had expected?
No. I mean, so two pieces. One, we sold in stock,
Mhm.
right? Which is not cash, as you know. And so
No, it's not.
No, it's not. Because back then in the internet stock market, stocks were going up, stocks were going
Mhm.
down, stocks were going up. And I'm like, I'm a billionaire, I like it. And I don't want to risk it. I don't need more money. I need to protect what I got. And so I did this thing called a collar, where I sold out of the money calls on the stock that we got from Yahoo, on Yahoo stock. And I bought puts to protect the downside from the money I got from selling.
Okay, explain that really
Right.
slowly for us that might not understand it.
So a share
The
of
collar,
stock.
yeah, okay.
Share of stock. We got Yahoo stock. And we sold what is known as calls. Call on a share of stock gives somebody that you sell it to the right to buy that share of stock at whatever the price.
Like a predetermined price down the road.
Price. So if Yahoo stock was 100 and I sold it, you can buy this at 120 and you pay me some amount of money for that. That's selling a call. Then I took that money and I bought a put, which is the opposite side. It protects the downside. It says if Yahoo stock
smart
falls,
ass over there.
oh yeah. So if Yahoo stock falls below the level I bought,
You'd be
the 100,
protected.
you have to buy it from me at that price. And I was like,
Yeah. You're
'cause
such
it
a clever
crashed.
dick.
Yeah, it crashed.
Of
And
course it crashed. This is it.
The whole, internet
Wow,
stock,
yes.
bubble burst. And so I actually ended up making some more money of that. So that was part one. That worked out fine. But then Yahoo, when that internet stock bubble burst, Yahoo's board of directors just freaked out because their stock had gone from hundreds to tens, or less. And they're like, okay, we got to cut expenses. And so the streaming side was, huge mistake, but that's part of what they cut.
Wow. Talk to me about your relationship to money as a founder, because I just feel like a founder's journey is so uneven. It's like you've got nothing, you've got nothing, you've got nothing. Then hopefully you get something. And maybe it's too much and you don't know what to do with it.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. Like my attitude is, if you're happy when you're broke, you'll be happy when you're rich. If you were miserable when you were broke, there's no amount of money that's going to change you from being miserable.
Mhm.
And so, when I was sleeping on the floor, I still was having fun,
You strike me as the type of guy that was broke and happy.
Yes, I was. I
You're
wasn't
just
happy to be
happier
broke.
now.
Yeah. I wasn't
Yes,
happy to be
that's
broke.
different.
Right. But I was going to
Yeah.
have fun no matter what. And so, when I sold Micro Solutions, I ended up with like $2 million. And I was 29 years old, give or take. And so I bought a lifetime pass on American Airlines for $125,000.
It's a great deal.
Oh my God.
It's a great
And
deal.
my only mission, because in my mind, I was retired.
Mm.
And my only mission
At 29.
At 29, yeah. My only mission in life was to party like a rock star. Because I only had to do, I had this card that I could walk up to American Airlines and just show it. And I was actually living in LA, not far from here. And I was like, okay, I'd go out to the clubs and find a new friend.
You're
Let's
like,
go to
"We're going
Vegas.
off."
Let's go to Vegas. Let's go to London. Let's go wherever.
And you used it?
Oh,
Did you get your money's worth out that 125?
Oh, yes, I did. And it was lifetime pass.
Please tell me
so-
you can't just still use that now.
I could, but I gave it to my dad. And when my dad passed, I gave it to a friend.
Oh, that's so lovely.
Yeah.
That's so you,
Yeah.
Mark, to do that. But I'm sure you got your use out of it in the interim.
My God.
So back to the money. So you get $2 million when you're about 29. The next big chunk of money doesn't come until you've sold.
Well, no, not right. So I took that $2 million, and initially I told my stockbroker, who was a buddy of mine, I want you to invest like a 60-year-old. I want you to put it in bonds because I want to live off of this. Interest rates were higher. I want to live off of this for a while. Right?
You had a sense, though, that $2 million you'd kind of made it at that point?
Well, yes.
Or you knew you were going to make loads more money in your mind?
I didn't. I was willing to live like a student for a long time.
Wow.
But what came along was I talked to my broker, and he would ask me all these questions about stuff I knew because of Micro Solutions. And then I'd see these people who worked for Goldman Sachs, go on CNBC or whatever it was back then and say exactly what I said, and the stock would go up or down. And my buddy was like, you know this stuff better than our guys do. You should be buying and selling these stocks. So I'm like, okay, I will. And I just crushed it. I mean, crushed it. I turned that 2 million. I don't even know what it ended up being, 15, 20 million, right? And it was just like, okay. And then we started broadcast, and that allowed me to keep going.
How do you think that your relationship with money shaped your early decisions as an entrepreneur?
Oh, 100%, right? I mean, I was that kid that drove around and looked at the big houses and listened to motivational tapes in the car. Yeah. And
I used to drive around looking at all the big houses.
Yes,
that was such a thing for me.
Yes,
Yeah.
100%. I'm like, what do these people do,
Yes.
right? How did they get there? What is it that they have that I don't? What is their motivation? And that was my motivation. And so I always wanted to make more money, but I always wanted to use my time first, right? Time was the most valuable asset. That's kind of what my dad and my parents taught me, because, if you're grinding the same job and, not really making money, my dad never made more than $40,000 in his life, and you're stuck. You can live a great life. It's not like you can't really enjoy your life and have a great family like we did, but, there were things we couldn't do, things, that, hey, Dad, can we do this? Or can I? No,
sorry.
No, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
And you get a job and you can do it. And so, I wanted to really value my time first. And then as I started earning more money, and then it was like, okay, what is it that I can use this for? And it was have fun, and then,
sure.
But it was still like, okay, I need to save this forevermore.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we hit it with the billions, then everything changed, because it was like, okay, what will change my life immediately? So it was like I bought a house, sight unseen. It was a $25 million house.
No, you didn't.
Honestly,
who spends $25 million?
I didn't spend 25. So what the deal was a guy.
Of course you didn't. You did a deal.
I did a deal, right?
You're always
so this
doing a
guy,
deal.
damn, how I remember this dude's name, I don't know, right? But he owned this company, never sold a share of stock. It was a public company, never sold a share of stock, and then the company cratered. And so he spent 3 years and $25 million building this house, more than 3 years, lived there 8 months. And my friend said, look, it's going to go to bankruptcy and you can get it for $12 million. And he showed me a picture. I'm like, fuck it.
Done.
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 And I still live in that house.
No, you don't live in that house.
I live in that same house 25
Get
years
out of
later,
it.
27 years later.
What a fantastic investment.
Oh,
that was your house. That was meant to be.
That was, because that's what, it was just a amazing house, right? Like literally until I got married and had kids, there were rooms I'd never been in. There's still rooms.
You couldn't even make your way around it.
There are still rooms.
That says a lot about you and who you are, though, because I feel like you are just so comfortable in who you are that once you've got your thing, that's it. You're just going to stay and stick with it.
Yeah, it was just like until I got married, I had no furniture. I had like one couch and a big screen TV, and it was so big. Like we would play football and wiffle ball like in the ballroom, and I literally had a basketball hoop in the ballroom of the house. And so I could just get some shots up. It was like
amazing.
It was so much fun.
Looking for a better way to refresh your summer wardrobe? Daily Look is the #1 highest rated premium personal styling service for women. Daily Look connects you with your own dedicated personal stylist, a real stylist, not an algorithm, who curates a box of up to 12 premium pieces based on your body shape, preferences, and lifestyle. Try everything on in the comfort of your own home. Keep what you love and return the rest. Shipping is free both ways.
With flexible delivery options, you can receive a box every 30, 60, or 90 days, making it easy to fit your wardrobe refresh into your schedule. Daily Looks save time, takes the guesswork out of shopping, and offers a truly personalized experience with the same stylist every time. Elevate your style by signing up at dailylook.com today. Take your style quiz at dailylook.com and get 50% off your first styling fee with the code ASPIRE. That's dailylook.com, code ASPIRE. With my busy work and travel schedule, I've recently found myself hitting a wall. Not a massive crash, just a slow, steady fade. Less energy, more brain fog, and I just couldn't figure out why. That's when I chose Function. It's the only health platform that gives you access to the kind of data most people never see and the insights to actually take action. With Function, you can test over 160 biomarkers, from hormones and heart health to toxins, inflammation, and stress. You can even add MRI and CT scans, all tracked in one secure place over time. It's a near 360-degree view of your body, and that's why experts like Dr. Mark Hyman, Dr. Andrew Huberman, and Dr. Jeremy London stand behind Function Health. This time of year can look bright and busy on the outside, but inside, so many of us are running on fumes. Function helps put a name to what you're feeling. Low testosterone or DHEAS might be draining your drive. Cortisol could be throwing off your mood. And if your vitamin D or magnesium is low, your immune and nervous systems are taking a hit too. The symptoms are real, and now so are the answers. Learn more and join using our link. The first 1,000 get $100 credit towards their membership. Visit functionhealth.com/aspire or use gift code ASPIRE100 at sign up to own your health. If you're always on the go like me, making wellness a daily habit can be difficult. But thanks to Symbiotica, they make this daily habit that much easier with on-the-go, high-quality, science-backed supplements that support your mind and body from the inside out. Standout products include magnesium L-threonate, designed to enhance focus, reduce brain fog, and support restful sleep. Their liposomal glutathione supports glowing skin, gut health, and healthy aging, while the Shilajit liquid complex is known to help boost cellular energy and cognitive function. Every product is thoughtfully formulated, with several, including the glutathione and vitamin C, using liposomal delivery for faster nutrient absorption. If you've been looking for effective support for energy focus, mood, or skin health, this is a great place to start. It's one of those small things that can help you feel more like you again. Go to symbiotica.com/aspire for 20% off plus free shipping. That's symbiotica.com/aspire for 20% off plus free shipping.
I think the audience that I have really wants to understand, how do you get started, right? Like if you have an idea or if you've got something that you believe in strongly, like how do you just get out of the gate? And I think that really what I want to ask you is almost what matters more. Is it the idea or is it how you execute something?
So if you would have asked me this question 6 months ago, I would have given you a completely different
Well, I'm
answer.
so glad I got you now.
Yeah, right? Because of AI. Like literally this morning, I got a question from a kid in high school, and I get so many emails, and every now and then
You are unbelievable at answering emails.
but somebody I like, right? I'm going to respond immediately. But
Thanks.
like every now and then I'll be, okay, it's from a kid. Let's see what the question is, right? And he said, well, same question. How do you get started? And I was like, okay, first thing you have to do is learn AI. You have, whether it's ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity, Claude, you've got to spend tons and tons and tons of time just learning how it works and how to ask a question.
Is that what you're doing at the
Yes.
moment? You're spending
Yes.
time. So
Yes.
talk me through that. What does that look like? If you're a founder right now and you want to just learn AI, what are you doing?
Just asking the questions.
Just asking it questions.
And trying everything that comes out that's new. It's like the early days when I first got started. Every day there was a new technology. Every day there was new software. Every day the PCs and the networks were getting faster and bandwidth was getting faster. So it was just a constant, oh my God. And AI is the same way now.
What do you say to someone who says, yeah, but I don't like AI. I don't want any more technology in my life. Like what is the answer?
You're fucked.
Basically, that's it. It's like do or die.
Yeah, that's like saying back in the day, I don't need to use a PC. I don't need to use the internet. I don't need a cell phone, Wi-Fi.
And those businesses died.
Done.
Yeah. And there's so many examples of that, right? Brands that just didn't transition, didn't update, didn't do what they needed to do, and they
didn't
died a
glob
death.
onto the internet, didn't figure out, it's just like all the stuff you have to learn, right? For Great American Skims, right?
Yes.
It's never ending. It's a never ending competition. And now your business is harder than it's ever been.
The hardest, and changes every day.
Every millisecond. If you saw the stuff that came from Google, right? Where people are just typing in things and creating like great content.
Unreal.
Now,
I mean, I was at the Google Summit last week where they were launching.
When they showed you all this, right?
I mean,
because they wanted you to see all this.
You can't even fathom that what you're looking at isn't real. I'm like, wait a minute, what is so good about this? And they're like, well,
it's not like they have six fingers anymore. It is like
crazy,
the realest stuff ever. Now, the good news, so there's multiple parts to all this, right? If you're an entrepreneur or want to be an entrepreneur and you start playing with it to get a sense for how it works, how to prompt, it becomes like a mentor. It becomes like having, an entire staff of 1,000 business professors.
That's how you're thinking about it.
Yeah. Because you still have to be smart to do it. If you would say to me, Mark, I need a commercial for Skims. I know how to use all the technology. I can type in prompts, but I don't have the creative side of it. I don't know, if you're using a 35 millimeter camera and this type of light, you need this type of aperture and you need this type of angle and you need to, you want these.
So nuance of expertise is still really important.
It's more important.
And the more you're giving AI, the more you're getting out of it, right? That's my limited understanding. It's as good as what you give it.
Correct. Now, it's going to come up with stuff that you couldn't even fathom. It's that good. And it's the ultimate time hack because now, edit that together. Let's see what it looks like. And then you look at the dailies and you're like, okay, that looks good. Okay, let's, shoot a little bit more and see what we get. Now you don't got to shoot shit.
You ain't got to do anything.
Right? Yeah. But you still got to be able to know how to edit it.
Yes.
You still got to know how to tell a story. And your ability to tell a story now changes dramatically. So before it'd be like, okay, here's my 15 second, here's my 30s, here's my 60s, right? Maybe we'll do something long form. We'll see, because, on TikTok, people, like this or don't like that. And, let's see where the fit is and what the algorithm supports. Now you just crank out 50 different things in 6 minutes. And then you get to ABC test it and see or run it through, but you still need to have quality qualified people to say, that's good, that's not good.
So it's no substitute for actual humans, but you're just like, it's much less. So you're thinking about AI as in this is a replacement for some level of creative output, for some level of the number of staff that you might need. So it's almost like shrinking everything that's needed in the beginning.
It's no different than CGI has changed over the last 30 years. Using digital, you went from analog cameras to digital cameras to you can use your phone and it's 4K and then it'll be 8K, right? So there's things that you don't do now that you did 5 years ago to create content. And so it's just one more move forward. But for starting a business, you can say, okay, here's what I want to do. I have this idea where I want to sell these cups that say Aspire by Emma Grede. I want to do a business around this. Write me a business plan. And then you get it in a minute. And you say, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. Update this. Okay. All right. Now that you've read my business plan, ChatGPT or Gemini, put together a website, design, boom. Minute later, you're looking at the first proof of your website. I mean, to me right now, there's no better time to be a startup entrepreneur because you have an expert in your pocket. You go to ChatGPT or whatever, Gemini, and just ask it.
But I love that at this stage of your journey, Mark, you are using that. As accomplished as you are, as successful as you are, even you are starting
it's
over.
And it gets weird sometimes too.
I'm going to take a picture of your phone. What apps do you have that I don't?
Oh, I've got everything.
It's all on there. Who's teaching you about it? Are you? Is it all self-discovery, or are you engaging with?
I need a.
Is Sam Altman on speed dial?
No, just myself.
Okay.
I don't. It's more fun to learn. Okay, I need a business plan for a mug that says Aspire on it that I want to sell. Through Skims. Write me a business plan and the best approach to take it to them, okay?
All right, let's map this out. First off, the main idea is a sleek, stylish mug branded with the word Aspire. sold in collaboration with Skims, leveraging their brand power and audience. 1. Executive summary. You're launching a premium mug line that complements Skims' lifestyle brand. The mug embodies motivation and minimalism, aligning with Skims' aesthetic and
Okay, that's
audience
enough for right now.
ambitions.
Just write it up for me and I'll read it later, okay?
Unbelievable. All of these things that used to take weeks and weeks and weeks, and
And
copywriters and editors and graphic designers and
everything, right?
specialists.
And you're meeting with your team, they're going through, what do you think? What do you think? And everybody's always got to give their opinion because otherwise they don't feel valued, right?
And that takes time, that takes
time, just
energy,
drags
and
them.
that's, yeah.
And so if you can consolidate, now, do you still need people who can copyright? But yes, but those people
Yes, you just need far less.
right. Well, it's just, you need fewer, but maybe not, right? Maybe you just, those copywriters have to learn how to use prompts in AI. And they have to know which AI will take those prompts and give you better output that's suitable for your businesses. And then the editors would be able to take that video that it creates or the script for the video first and know how to use it within an AI structure like VO, which is the video creation, right? And so, because if you don't know how to translate the script into what VO uses, and it's changing every day now, whatever comes next, then you won't have a job. But if you have those skills as an editor and a copywriter, and you know how to translate them into AI so that your prompts are really, really good and quick and efficient, you'll have a job for life.
Of course. So someone starting a business now needs to learn AI.
All of it.
All of it. Gobble all the
So
information up.
Day one, learn everything about AI. And like I told this kid this morning, read books about entrepreneurs because there's still the heart. The AI isn't going to deal with your heart and mind because you knowing what the grind is and the work and the fear, because I can get AI to write a business plan for this or anything for that matter. But if I'm not willing to do the work, if I don't understand that I might be broke for a long time, if I don't understand that now it's easier for anybody to start a business, so now there's more competition, not less. If I don't understand that, then it doesn't matter what the AI tells me.
Because you read a lot, right?
Yeah, I try to, but now it's all reading about AI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so, all right, so you want people to read books about entrepreneurs, and what's probably the last thing they need to do?
The last thing is just to experiment. You know, you've got to try stuff that feels uncomfortable. You can ask the AI, how do I build a mold? Where's the best way to build a mold? And even like one of the beauties of AI, it'll help you create molds that'll be more efficient wherever you send it to build your first, prototypes.
We're in a whole new world.
It's
a whole new
literally,
world.
Emma, 2024 might as well say black and white 1920.
What, which to me signals so much opportunity.
Oh,
right?
where there's change, there's opportunity.
Right? But when we start to think about, okay, traditionally the barriers that have stopped people from starting a business, where they live, where they come from, education level, it's gone. You're saying that's out the window now.
Oh, yes. As long as you have that smartphone that can download ChatGPT and all these things, not even paying up, right? You can ask it questions like you have access to me, you, the best professors ever. Now, it doesn't mean
there's no excuse.
Now, you may say, I need money to do this, but then you just ask this ChatGPT, how can I do this with no money? What's the best way to start? Like, how can I create a prototype the least expensive way? I know what needs to happen in most businesses, right? Anybody can now ask those questions.
So given everything that you know, the experience of building multiple companies, the experience of investing in all of these very kind of early stage founders, I guess my question to you is, can everyone be a founder? Can anyone be an entrepreneur?
Can they? Yes. Should they? No.
Thank you, Mark. That's the end of that. Tell me why. Go on, give me the reasons.
Everybody's got ideas. In this country, that's what makes this country different than every country in the world.
I say that all the time.
Right? Because in the UK, not everybody thinks I can start a business.
No.
Doesn't cross their mind.
No, absolutely. It's not this. It's woven into the fabric of society in America.
Doesn't matter who the president is. Doesn't matter what party's in charge.
It's doable.
It's doable.
It's doable.
Right? And this country, we think, I have an idea. And if I have an idea, it could become a business. And then you go on Google, or now you go to ChatGPT or Gemini, and you say, has this ever been done before? Show me anybody who's done it and how it's turned out. Oh, nobody's done it before. Write me a business plan for this idea. Okay, and 2 seconds later, let me go through it. I can do this, right? But then
But not everybody should do this, Mark.
there's this line right here.
What is the line?
The line, when you step over that line, you're in.
Mm-hmm.
And it means you got to do everything you got to do to be successful.
You got to do it.
You got to do it.
You got to do it.
It's not like I'll go raise money and I'll hire people.
No,
That's
you got to do
failure
it.
right there,
Yes.
right? You've got to be the one to do it. And most people aren't willing to make that commitment.
So who shouldn't be a founder?
Like if you want structure, you should not be a founder. Now you can be anal and deal with details.
Mm-hmm.
But if you think, okay, I want my life to have structure. I want to work 9 to 5. I want to be a founder because I'll have more time to myself.
Funny all of those things, Mark, that you say that.
Am I wrong?
No, you are right. It's just that certain people have a liberty to be able to say those things and other people maybe not so much. But you honestly believe that. It's like if you're looking for structure, if you're looking for familiarity, if you're looking for your days to be
I have
pretty
more
much the
control.
same every day.
Yeah, you don't you own the
if you're
business.
looking for balance,
Just forget it.
maybe don't be a founder.
Yeah. I mean, maybe you can make it work if you have, enough money to work your way through it.
Mm-hmm.
You own the finances of your company, but your customers and your employees really run your life. And that doesn't even take into account competition, who is working 24 hours a day to kick your ass.
To kill you.
Yeah. And so and in your industry better than anybody, right? Because it is nonstop. Somebody comes in, they have an idea. Oh no, Emma's wrong. She doesn't get the feel anymore. That's not the way people buy.
Yeah, and you have a window in time as well, right? You're not good forever. Most founders are not great.
No.
You have like musicians, I feel like there are these like golden years where you're like in it, you're on it, everything's coming your way, and the stars align. Yeah, exactly.
Yes, right. Your feel is the match to what people want.
Yes.
And music's a great analogy, right? Because what was a hit yesterday?
Ain't today.
Same with clothes.
Mm-hmm.
Things that, oh man, everybody wants that.
So what are your red flags? Like when you're in a pitch situation, what are the things that to you, you're just like, that's a no-no?
They think there's a magic bullet, that if they raise money, they can go hire somebody to do A, B, and C. And that's where I think most businesses fail. Because the founder will realize they don't have a specific skill set or that something's not working that they expect it to work. I thought for sure this would sell. I thought, we're losing $20,000 a month. If only I had more money for a bigger marketing budget. If only I could hire a marketing person. If only I can hire a salesperson.
Yeah, it's always kicking the can down the road, right?
To somebody else that's going to be some super person that's, a magic bullet. No, you've got to do it.
You got to be the bullet.
You've got to be the bullet, right? If you aren't the magic bullet, it's not going to work unless you get lucky.
Have you ever seen anything contrary to that? Like, has there ever been a time where you've met somebody and actually they've defied?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's people,
but it's rare.
It's rare.
It's just very, very rare.
Right.
I've heard you say a million times that you don't need money to start. So what do people do when they don't have money to start?
Sweat equity. You've got to find the right product or service. If you don't have any money, most likely it's going to be a service. Like right now, if I was 16 years old or 25 years old and broke sleeping on the floor again, I'd be all about AI, just like I taught myself programming before.
So if you had nothing right now, if you just said $1,000 and a laptop, you'd be on the AI trail.
If I had access to a library and $0, I would be all about AI. I'd be in there till they kicked me out, eating my ribs,
Still with the ribs.
Yep. Till they kicked me out.
Yeah.
And then I know that I can walk into any small business and say, I know you don't know AI. And I know you're hearing about it and you've messed with ChatGPT some and you're not really sure how to use it. Just like back then I said, here, let me show you how to use a computer and connect them together to be more profitable, et cetera. That's exactly what I would do.
What do you think that the best founders do that separates them from everyone else?
They love their product or service so much, they just love to sell it. They realize they're not convincing somebody, they realize they're helping somebody. You're going to look good in those clothes. Let me show you how and why. You're going to look good using this software. You're going to look good, using this AI will make you more productive or profitable.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be smarter when you're done reading this book, whatever it is, they are so convinced that their product is going to make people's lives better. Why wouldn't they want to sell it and talk to as many people as they could?
Oh, I love that. What do you think, Mark, separates, I guess, somebody that has a real viable business idea from somebody that has like a hobby? Like, how do you know when something is like, this is a thing that I can turn into like
Well,
an
there's two
actual
pieces
viable
there.
business?
There's two pieces there.
Mhm.
If you're so committed, you're dreaming about it. You dreamt about your business, right?
Over and over and over
You
again.
would wake up and you'd write yourself notes because you didn't want to forget what you dreamed
All
about.
the time.
All the time.
All the time.
Same,
Like,
right? To this.
I cannot tell you all the time.
Exactly. That's how you know. And then you've got to see if it's a real business because you might be so, caught up in it. But who knows if anybody
How
else
do you
cares?
know if something is viable?
People are buying it.
That's it. Just people are buying it. That's simple.
They'll Venmo you. They'll send you money.
That's it.
That's it. How else do you know?
That simple.
Yeah. Now, like you sold a few, right?
Yeah.
Then you I started with one customer. Once I get my one customer, then I can have enough money to go get something for the second customer. Damon John talks about selling t-shirts on the corner.
Mhm.
And then once he sold, his lot that he had, you use that money. I think people think it's going to happen.
Oh,
No,
yeah. Everyone
it's a
feels like it's some
slow
overnight
grind. It's a slow grind.
I talk about this all the time in my own business, but certainly on Shark Tank. What is the difference between someone that should just continue to climb the corporate ladder and someone that should go out on their own? Like, do you see that very clearly?
Yeah. I mean, what are you good at? People tend not to quit things they're good at. People tend to get rewarded for things they're good at. And whatever it is that makes you good or got you to be good, you just do more of it. Now, you may reach, a level where you can't go higher for any number of different reasons. And then, you can look at going to a competitor, going somewhere else, or starting something on your own. But when you're good at something and you're moving up the ladder and, you're getting results, there's a really good chance that or at least you should be rewarded.
Yeah.
And, that's a good reason to stick with it.
I feel like there's just for so many people, they'll be in a corporate job feeling that they're not getting properly rewarded. But that's not the reason to necessarily go and start up on your own.
I mean, that's what weekends are for. That's what nights are for. Should I quit my job? When do I know I should quit my job? You don't until you know you have a company.
Don't.
Yes.
And when do you know you've got a company?
When
the
people are
money
buying
starts, when the money
it's like,
starts going in.
boom.
But it's as simple as that. So what do you say to people then? They're like, okay, I've got my day job. I've got my side hustle. I'm working on the weekends. I'm seeing some customers. Where is when and where is the time to go, okay, now I've got to apply myself fully?
I mean, when you see your bank account.
Are you making it that simple for everyone?
Yes.
You're like, when you can afford to live.
Do you think differently?
No, I think it's really difficult for people because, sometimes you can get stuck between a rock and a hard place, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think the hardest thing is actually when you've got a business that doesn't take off. When something takes off,
Yeah, then it's easy.
you've got total clarity. When you've got something where you're like, well, I only work on this for like 10 hours a week. And if I could apply myself a little bit more, you end up in that,
But usually right? Because, at that point in time, it's typically, all right, I need more inventory, right? Or there's something, whatever it is.
There's like a barrier.
Right. There's a barrier. And then you deal with that barrier and you may need your job to pay for more inventory. You may need to say, okay, I got to save my money so I have more inventory for my company. Whatever that barrier is, that's what you deal with.
Yeah. That's what you've got to deal with. I mean, I think there's a lot of headlines right now about people, like graduates that are unemployed. And I just wonder what you would say or what your advice would be for new people that are entering the world of business.
Yeah. I mean, go find a job because you just spent 4 years paying to learn, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you have a job, it doesn't have to be a perfect job, but you're getting paid to learn. I mean, yeah, you're getting paid to learn after paying to learn, right? You spend all that tuition money. So whatever business you go into, wherever you work, you're going to learn stuff. If you go in with the attitude that, okay, it's just a job, I just, go home. But if you go in thinking, okay, this is a company. This is somebody's operating this company. I may be 10 layers down, but at least I can see what they do and learn some things on how they approach it. And I might think to myself 9 months later, 10 months later, okay, I've learned what I think I can learn here. I don't like it, go get another job.
I think that's really valuable advice. And if I think back to my 20s where I worked a corporate job for years, that's what it taught me. It taught me like, how do you run a business actually quite badly.
And sometimes you learn
at the
what
time,
not
right?
to do. Yeah.
And I really did. It's like, well, that doesn't make sense. And they're giving it away over there. And this,
Yes.
but it was a great kind of training ground for me because I
learned
really
more
understood.
what not to do than what to do when I worked in corporate America.
Yes.
But that's what I think people get caught up in. I'm not fully fulfilled. Well, you're getting paid to learn. You spent your 4 years in college, if that's what you
But that's
did.
the mindset shift, right? It's like, you're getting paid to learn. Not like I'm not fulfilled. This is not like, my purpose in life. It's not supposed to be your purpose. It's a check. And if you can appreciate it, it's like, I'm learning every day
Yes, because
here.
whatever you start, right, you're going to have to go through a learning process.
Yeah.
using ChatGPT or not, you're going to have to go through a learning process.
Mhm.
And if you can do it on somebody else's dime, and if in the back of your mind, I want to be an entrepreneur like I did. I was always looking at that stuff because I knew I wanted to have my own company at some point. So every day was a chance for me to learn, even if it got me fired. And, I think now it's not any different. And when I graduated from college, the unemployment.
Do you think it isn't any different?
No.
Really?
No. Like when I graduated from
You
college.
don't think there was just like so much more opportunity years ago? Like
No, hell no.
Really?
Hell no.
Oh, I'll challenge you on that
Okay,
one.
fire away.
I mean, so I think that, for example, if you went back 30 years, for me, it seemed like there was just so much less competition. No?
Well, just because it wasn't all online where you can see it,
That's
and,
true. That's fair.
But now But
isn't that so much part of it, Mark? Because like the fear for so many people is what they know. And sometimes what you don't know. Like I feel like my naivety in the beginning of starting a business was my biggest superpower because you don't know what you don't know. So I was like,
you didn't know to be afraid of this or that. Yes,
exactly.
for sure. But think about it, going to your question, right? Back then, you needed a whole lot more money to get started.
True.
Right now, if you have a phone and ChatGPT,
cost of entry is low. Yeah.
Nothing.
You can figure out
nothing.
Shopify.
Shopify, right? Amazon, whatever, right? Molds were more expensive. You couldn't just send it to China. Everything was more expensive. You couldn't, to make shit was a lot harder, more expensive. You couldn't just go online, and just learn all this shit. Like when
you were reading manuals.
I would read the fucking manual.
Catalogs. Hence the bucket of ribs.
And I was sitting in bookstores. I would literally go into bookstores, grab this magazine, grab that book, go grab that book, hide in the corner and read all day because I couldn't afford to buy that shit.
Yeah, there was no Blinkist summary on something.
No, and there was no shortcuts.
Yeah.
There were no life hacks that get you there. So now it may be harder because there's more competition. But to get started, there was no businesses back then you could start with no money down unless you were just selling your time. I'm shoveling driveways, going door to door, whatever, right? Now get your Shopify, and if you sell something, then you go to the manufacturer or you go to the distributor and you drop ship it.
There's ways.
There's ways.
What's something that you wish every first-time founder knew?
Sales cures all.
Sales cures all.
No sales, no company.
That's it.
No exceptions to that
Because people
rule.
get moored with all the other stuff, moored with their model, the marketing, and it's like, you need sales. I talk about this all the time. It's like, focus on distribution, focus on your sales, focus on like owning that story and just being the best salesperson possible because that's all you need at the end of the day.
Right, because if you can sell.
Yeah, you'll figure the rest out.
Yes, because
everything else is not a problem.
follows through to that sale. If you can't sell, it doesn't matter what you're good at. It doesn't matter anything else for that matter. You're stuck.
Why do you think people avoid that?
Because people don't like to be told no.
Oh.
I tell people all the time, every no gets you closer to a yes. Every no. And I would tell that to myself. I was selling magazines door to door, right? And I'd walk up, are you telling me that for $5 a week, this wasn't going to improve the education and enjoyment of your family? No.
Bye. On to the next one.
And it's the same, selling Mavs
Switch
tickets.
up your pitch.
When I first bought the Mavs, hey, it's less than a McDonald's. No, you guys suck. Boom, on to the next, right? You've just got to be relentless, and most people are afraid of the word no.
Are you afraid to give the word no? Because I feel like getting the feedback is really hard. You just give the feedback, right?
I don't like to say no to people. That's my problem. That's why I don't do hiring in my companies. Because
is that true?
Oh, yeah, because I'm awful at hiring people.
You're just like, I'm on board. No, You're amazing.
I'm a sales guy, right? So I think I can make this work.
What is the truth then in entrepreneurship that no one actually tells you?
The truth that
what's the truth?
It's hard. I think you're not automatically going to make money. Most people don't make it. Most people fail. It's hard.
Yeah. That's, I think, what I've seen. And it's interesting, actually, as you go into the tank, because even if you think an idea is a great one and you think it has a market, like not everything works out.
No.
And you can give the funding and it just for, a myriad of reasons might not work.
Yeah,
it fails.
most companies
Have you failed?
Yeah, of course I've failed. You never heard about my powdered milk company?
No.
When I started out of college?
No.
Yeah.
Not a good one?
Not a good one. It was cheaper. It didn't matter if it didn't taste like milk. It was powdered milk.
All right, tell me about the powdered milk company.
No.
Because, well, I want to know about the failure. I want to know what does it mean to fail and get back up and do it again? Like, what is it in you that allows you to take the failure and it not be about you?
Damon John says it best. It's the power of broke. If you're broke, what else are you going to do? I mean, I was eating mustard and ketchup sandwiches. I was going to a bar with $5, buying one beer and eating all the fried mushrooms and the peanuts and whatever shit they offer.
Broke is good. Broke is great for a period of your life.
Yes,
Yeah.
right? Because you
It's helpful.
learn. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really true. But what have you learned? Do you feel like the failures that you've had, have they amounted to something that you've been able to see like as a pattern in your life, or is it more just about the individual circumstance? Because I feel like I could look at every failure I've had and I'm like, it's basically the same thing.
I don't know if it was basically the same thing, other than maybe shit didn't sell, right?
There's that.
Powdered milk.
Yeah.
Oh,
It
no.
didn't sell.
It did not sell. I remember taking samples to people, mixing it up like, look, milk's expensive. We're broke, right? Just save you money.
Here's some
Mixing it
grainy
up,
shit.
try it. And just seeing the look on their face.
No, you can do about that.
Point taken.
You're like,
And then
I
you
got
try-
it.
But it's just you. Your taste in milk is different,
But-
right?
All right, so how long? Because this I kind
About
of
a
love.
month.
How a month?
Yeah, about a month.
Yeah, but isn't that the thing? At least you didn't try to do that for a year. Because some people just don't know how to
Well,
step
there
away.
were no sales. It was going nowhere, you know?
Oh, I know, but people don't always hear that.
Yeah.
Don't you think? Like, you must deal with a lot of early stage founders that just don't read the signs. They don't see it. And I think it's really important to talk a bit about failure and to talk about when it's time to pack it in.
That, I never really thought of it that way, but you're right. You have to have a lot of self-awareness to be an entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
You have to know what you don't know, unless,
Yes.
it's early. But once you get going in particular, you have to know what you suck at. And you need to know how to get people to complement your skills. I think a lot of times entrepreneurs think, I can do it all, which at the beginning you pretty much have to.
Mm-hmm.
But as you grow and you're trying to scale your business, if you have any success at all, you need to know what you're not good at, and you need to find people who complement your skills. And I think one of the mistakes entrepreneurs make sometimes is they won't bring in people with expertise that they don't have to be their startup partners.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to give up some of my company. The thing that cracks me up, I can't tell you my idea, you might steal it. It's just
I'm like, trust me, I won't.
I
I promise you.
I'm like, fine, then don't tell me. Next.
Yeah, on to the next one. But it's a great question, actually, like just to understand the mistake that so many first-time founders make. And I feel like if I look back at my history, I'm an overly optimistic person. And I feel like I can will anything to
I'm
like
the same
anything.
way. I can make it
right?
work.
And sometimes I'm like, Emma, you can't will that powdered milk. Like that's
No,
just not gonna
I can sell
happen.
anything,
Yeah,
right? I can
honestly,
sell
and sometimes that will get in your way, but I've learned that about myself.
and you learn, right? But it's okay to bang your head against the wall like that and learn.
Yeah, so
Because-
long as you learn.
Look, I say this all the time on Shark Tank. Doesn't matter how many times you fail. You only have to be right one time.
Mm-hmm.
Just one time.
What are you spending most of your time on now when because it's like you're in a whole new stage of your life where you've made decisions that are all about what you want to do and how you want to spend your time. And I'm curious as to your routine, what you do in a day, what you need to get out of a day.
Beg my children to spend time with me,
You're
basically.
like, please, you want to hang out? Please, I'll fly you to the game.
Whatever, right? Seriously.
Yeah.
It's like, can we go to lunch? Let's go to the...
It's so, if your kids only knew how many people wanted to go to lunch with
Oh,
you.
of course, right? No, they
we should
do,
tell
right?
them, kids, figure it out.
Well, and
Everyone
part of
wants
the
to go to
downside
lunch
is
with your
they know
dad.
if we go out, then I got to deal with people, right?
That's true.
And
Yes.
so I feel bad for them on that end of it. It's like I always have to have the conversation, if your friends get drunk and screw up, nobody cares. You're my kid, it's going to be on the front page.
Sorry, kids.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the responsibility you bear. And sometimes they don't want to go out. They'll go, I'll go with mom, but I don't want to deal with the dad. And, that's kind of heartbreaking.
Yes, I can imagine that really is heartbreaking, actually.
Yeah.
It's really difficult for them. But that's really what you're optimizing for, to spend time
Yeah,
with your kids.
yeah. And like I said, in the AI stuff, I mean, I really get into it, obviously. And it's like, knowledge truly is power. And knowing how to use these tools is everything.
It is going to be everything. When someone asks you what you do now, what do you even say?
Um, I do a lot of emails from all the different companies I've got, and we haven't talked about costplusdrugs.com yet, right? That's a big.
Oh, well, I really wanted to ask you about
Yeah.
costplusdrugs.com.
I mean,
are you okay? So this was my thing, Mark, because I know you're a very political person,
I'm
and
not
I
that
saw.
political, yeah.
I mean, Mark Cuban. Like I saw you out there. I thought, first of all, I do not understand why you're not the president of this country. And I know everybody asks you, but are you 100% sure you're not going to run?
I wouldn't put my kids through it.
Really? You're not going to run for president just for us
just
that need you? Just for
Maybe if you
me?
ask me really nicely, no.
Just for my whole family that are like,
right?
Don't you want?
I get asked every day.
Is it every day that much?
Yeah, lots of times a day. Yeah.
Okay, fine. Then I won't bug you back. But you've really considered it hard.
Yeah, for a while I did. Yeah, it's just
not for you.
Yeah, my whole life I never got into
because
politics.
Do you have the feeling that if you run, you would win?
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
I know that may sound arrogant.
It's not arrogant. I think it's a fact. Yeah. It's like I could guarantee I would bet on you and Michelle Obama, boom, as the president.
Yeah, Michelle's better suited than I am, but
I mean, I don't think she necessarily wants to do that. We won't speak on her behalf.
Right.
I think if you wanted it, you'd have it.
I mean, the running part would be fun, but just the shit my family would go through.
Fair.
Yeah, if I was single, I would do it. If my kids were 40 years old, I would do it.
Different. Well, there's still time. Your kids will be 40 one of these days.
One of these days.
Just saying. All right, back to cost plus drugs, because I saw that President Trump had made this announcement about leveling the cost of, prescription drugs, right? And so it immediately made me think of you. Yeah. Is that problematic for your business?
No, it's great.
It is?
It is great. Yeah, so let's say what cost plus drugs does.
Please, tell me.
So everybody likes their doctors and all that stuff, but nobody likes the financial side of healthcare. No. It's a mess, right? You have to deal with benefits and all that stuff, and there's no upside.
Well, as an English person, we still don't understand it. You know that. We get eye drops for £4, $4.
It's not like NHS gives you everything.
I will never understand what it costs in America to get like something that for my entire life I've taken totally for granted.
Well, it may be cheaper over here now.
Here's hoping.
Through cost plus drugs. So anyways, nobody likes the financial side because you don't know what anything costs. There's no transparency. So we created costplusdrugs.com. And so you go to Cost Plus, you put in the name of the medication. We don't carry them all yet. We've got like 2,500 different SKUs. And if we carry it, it pops up, right? Like your eye drops. And then we'll show you our actual cost. And then we'll show you our markup, which is 15%. And you have your choice of mail order. If it's mail order, it's $5 for the pharmacist, $5 for shipping and handling, shows up in a couple of days, or you can go to a local pharmacy that's it, right? But by being transparent, we changed the game. By only having a 15% markup, people trust us. Like I read this thing one time, and I firmly stick by it now. Trust equals transparency divided by self-interest. Right?
Wow, that's
like how much are you doing for yourself
statement.
Or how much are you doing for your customers, basically, right? And so our markups.
Say that one more time for me, Mark. That's so good.
Trust equals, it's a formula. Trust equals transparency. How transparent are you on a scale of 1 to 10?
Mm-hmm.
Cost plus drugs is a 10, right? And then self-interest. How much do you put yourself ahead of your customers, or how much do you put your customers first?
That's really powerful for people.
Right. Our markup is only 15%. People are like, that's fair. Yeah. Right. So you get to see the total cost right there, and we publish our full price list. And so by doing that, we've just exploded, and we've changed people's lives. And on my professional side, I mean, there's nothing more rewarding. I get emails all the time.
I can't imagine.
I was going to spend $900 on this medication for my cancer, and I couldn't afford it. I go to Cost Plus Drugs, and it's $21. I mean, or you save me $15,000 a month, right? It's insane. And so, Cost Plus Drugs comes along, and we've just been around for 3 years. So now let's tie it back to what the administration's doing. They want the cost of medications to be the same as they are overseas. Well, on generics, which is most of our SKUs, we're already cheaper. Like most of the generics that you would have to buy in the UK, we're cheaper. Go to Canada, we're cheaper, just because the way generics are structured. But for brand name drugs, it's a mess.
Right.
And so there's these things called pharmacy benefit managers that are the middlemen who are keeping the big pharma manufacturers from working with us, because they know if we introduce transparency, it'll screw up the game for them.
It's over.
So now with this stuff from the administration and wanting to match those prices, now the manufacturers of those brands, they think they can get out from under the thumb of these middlemen, the pharmacy benefit managers, and work directly with us. And I think it'll happen. It looks like it'll happen. So if that happens, a lot of these brand medication prices,
They're going to tumble.
they're going to
I mean, it's a win-win for consumers, basically.
For sure.
And why did you choose this category for a new business? Because it's kind of outside of everything that you've done in technology and...
Yeah, because, I mean, I saw an opportunity to disrupt something that's really fucked up.
It's really fucked up.
Yeah. So we're trying to simplify it through transparency. Like for my employees, there's no copays. For my employees, if you do your stuff through our network, right? If you do your stuff, if you buy your drugs through Cost Plus Drugs, there's no copay. We pay for all of it. And now we're setting up this direct contracting with hospitals and doctors and everything. And I can get all that stuff to you guys so that there's no out of pocket for our employees for anything that we cover. There's no pre-authorizations at all, right? Because we're willing to work directly with the hospitals and cut out the middlemen, we pay them a lot less. We just pay them up front.
It's seriously impressive. And it's pretty noble, actually, to be doing this at this stage
Yeah,
of
and
your
I'm
career.
not doing it to make money, right? I don't need the money. But the whole idea of fucking up healthcare,
I mean,
that's
that's
fun.
exciting.
Yeah, that's fun, right?
I love that you always come back to fun. That's going to be my big takeout from you, actually, because it's all about you having fun in
it
whatever
makes you
you're
feel
doing.
good, right? Like when you see somebody wearing your stuff.
Oh, nothing makes me happier. Also, nothing makes my husband happy because what happens to us in restaurants is that people come up and they flash us. You know, they go, Skims! And, you know, he kind of puts his head down and pretends he's looking at his dinner. I'm like, this is working out really well for you.
Right?
That's basically my life right now. People
Right?
just flashing me their bras.
Perfect.
And I wonder if you have any regrets at all because you've done so many things, so many impressive things. Is there something that you missed or something that
Yeah, there's lots of stuff that I missed,
you
right?
don't dwell?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really dwell on it. I try to learn from it, just not repeat it. I wasn't nice enough when I was first getting started, you know? I literally had one of my partners say, people are afraid of you. You know, I didn't listen all the time, you know, because I was focused on doing what I was focused on, you know? And so I missed things and, you know, that negatively impacted people who worked for me. So there's a lot of mistakes that I've made and that's just inevitable, you know? And I wish I could have done it differently. And if I had to do it all over again, I would do it differently. But it's done, and I try to learn from it.
But you really have learned from it because and I mean this in all seriousness, you are one of the nicest people I know.
You just
one of
don't.
the most.
You know me well, but you just don't see me when I'm like, "Fuck you! Don't do that."
I hope I never see you like that.
No, I don't do that. Those days are gone. But I used to.
But it must be something that you've really decided. Like, I'm going to be a nice guy because that
It's
really
just not
is
worth
who
it.
you
People-
are now.
People would rather work with you if you're nice.
Of course. I mean, I've always taken the opposite point of view because I feel like, you know, you get more with honey. Like you're just going to be nice and like people are
Yes.
going to do more for
Yes.
you. They're going to be nicer to you.
No
It's
one
just
likes
the way
to
that
deal
it
with
works.
people that piss them off or
Nobody
they hate.
likes an arsehole.
No.
And I'm really interested because you talk about your kids so much and I wonder what you're teaching them.
That's a good question. Sometimes it feels like nothing. They're good kids. I mean, I've got to say, my kids are really good. My oldest is a junior in college. My middle's graduating just graduating from high school last week. And my son, my youngest, is going to be a sophomore in high school. And so they know everything, obviously.
Yes, they do.
And I'm trying to just be there as much as I can and participate as much as I can, or as much as they'll let me, you know? So I don't mind chauffeuring my son wherever he needs to go or driving, you know, if any of my kids wants to do something, you know, unless I just humanly can't, the answer is yes. And so, yeah, that to me, other than Cost Plus, you know, learning and doing what I do professionally, but family wise, just trying to, you know, spend as much time with my kids and family.
I am, because I spent such a long time sitting next to you and trying to extrapolate bits of information, I thought it'd be remiss not for me to try something today. And so I feel like I'm in a bit of a chapter change. I've always looked at my life. It's like I have my consultant life. I have my business, starting businesses life. And now I'm in a bit of a different chapter. And I wonder what you would say to somebody like me, given everything that you've learned.
Well, what chapter are you in?
Well, you know, it's an interesting one because I feel like, you know, I love what I do. I really, really do. I love these businesses. But I'm definitely at the stage where working kind of 16-hour days and filling every 40-minute section of
And
my
make
day.
sure it's all right. Yeah.
It's really difficult. And I'm in the time of my life, I have a 11-year-old and an 8-year-old and twin 3-year-olds. And so I'm looking for very purposefully for a different type of rhythm to my day. Certainly not to say I'm going into retirement. Because
No, I get that, right? No, I know exactly what you're saying.
Business into me, but a different rhythm, like more opportunity to indulge in the things that I love and also share the things that I
Well, I already
have
know the
learned.
answer. You got to learn how to trust. And you've heard this before, probably a lot, right? Because when you're really, really, really good at something and it takes more time to convey it to somebody and wait for their answer and then explain what you want.
No, you just want to do it yourself.
Let's just get it done, right? Because we've got other shit to do. And so like I said, I suck at hiring. And so I had to get help with having somebody that I trusted to hire the people that I know we needed, even if it meant, turning over that person multiple times.
Yeah.
Because you've got to find you've got to find your mini-me's and be able to trust them.
So hard.
It is really hard.
It's so hard.
Especially when it's a go business. But that's what you got to do, because otherwise you're doomed to 16 hours a day forever.
Forever. Yeah. And it doesn't stop.
And it doesn't need to be a magic bullet. And what I've always tried to do, and like I said, I don't really hire, but I'm good at promoting people, right? And starting with somebody, getting to know them and trying to, get them into new skills that they can grow with and I can grow with them. So that, who is the one person that caught your attention in one of those hours in that 16-hour day that can deal with that issue that you can train or support, or they can just tag along with you till they get there and you trust them.
Yes.
And then you've got to be honest with them. Here's why I'm doing it. It may or may not work. And if it doesn't work, doesn't mean I'm going to fire you, but you may be disappointed that you're not that person the way I need that person to be.
Yeah.
No knock on you. This is just a very specific role that I need. That's what you got to do, because it's hard in your situation where you've gotten like this and now you got to fight.
You got to fight. Every day's a fight.
Because whenever you see this for even a day,
no,
a week,
you
or
can't.
month,
You're like, then you have to go fully back in. It's
right? And it's just like, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah, and it's exhausting.
And it is exhausting because you have people that gave you money and now you're responsible to them and they're trying to get their ROI and they want to know why this isn't happening. And you've got your budgets and it's driving you crazy that you've got a budget that somebody else also wants to know instead of just you knowing it.
I feel like you've been here before, Mark.
Right? And it's just like, but you took that money,
it's
right?
True. You took that money. You got to make it. You
got
to have a result. That's just it. But it's a great lesson for an entrepreneur and for founders, because if you don't trust people, you can't grow. Like there's no one that does it alone. But it depends where you are in your life cycle, right?
Yeah.
It's all about where you are.
Right. Because individually you have a life cycle, literally, like what you can tolerate and what you've done and what you've accomplished and the risk reward for your time. Because your time value goes like this as you get older. And the money, if you made enough money, it starts to, unless you're a person that just needs more and more and more, and I don't get that sense, right? Yeah. Right. So now it's about your time, but it's also about the obligation. Because I always say raising money isn't an accomplishment, it's an obligation.
It's an obligation.
And so
ain't that the truth?
Right. And so now you have this obligation. And so the good news about it in having it is that, and like you said, industries go in phases and you still have to find those people who help you adapt to the next phase. So what's hot and what's next, and, for Gen Z and, the 15-year-olds are going to be different than the 25-year-olds. And so trying to find those people, that's the challenge. And here I am trying to give you a vibe, right? But that's the part you got to figure out how to conquer. How do you hire those people to put you in that position? And what's the learning process to get there to be able to do it? Because if you don't do it, you already know what happens.
Yeah. You're doomed. You're stuck.
You implode.
You're stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's really interesting because I feel like one of the things that I spend the most time on is hiring, because it is when you get a person that comes into your business and you can truly trust them, it's like an unlock, right? You're like, and hopefully they're teaching you. When you get people that are really
and the worst part is if you make a
specialists,
mistake, then it's the worst thing ever.
It's the worst.
Because it's a reflection on you that you did it wrong. Oh. And then everybody else knows it's wrong.
And you make mistakes all the time. And it doesn't matter. I make mistakes all the time. Every year there's a handful of people that I'm like, this is just not going to work. And they were good somewhere else and they have the experience and on paper they were amazing and they were fully vetted and da-da-da-da-da-da. But it doesn't work out. For whatever reason, it doesn't work out. That's when I talk about you got to kill your darlings. Like just get it done.
Oh yeah, you always hire slow, fire fast.
That's the one. Ain't it just?
And you adjust.
I wonder what is left in your life for you to accomplish.
Well, I'm just getting started.
Do you feel like that?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, don't let the wrinkles fool you, right?
I love that. You feel like you're just getting started.
Yeah, like I get these, these requests. We want to give you a lifetime achievement award in tech. We want to give you an honor for the.
You're
I'm like, fuck no. I don't. Yeah, I'm like, no, I'm not taking awards. Like I've taken 2 awards, and I always say no to the rest. I just don't do awards because I'm just getting started.
What is it that tells you you're just getting started? When you're so accomplished, what can be left for you to, what's the
things
ambition?
That are fun. Disrupting industries is
Things
fun.
that are fun.
Fixing healthcare could be amazing. And I got a lot of work to do there because we have a path on pharmacy, and I think I have a path on fixing the healthcare side of it too.
Right. Amen to that. I mean, sign me up.
Yeah. And you connect me with your HR.
I'll be your guinea pig. I mean, I am ready for it.
Help you. The things I'm doing for my companies, the eat your own dog food stuff. Yeah, I'll turn you on to all of it.
Yeah, we really need
But doing
this.
that though, right?
But that's where your ambition lies in, like really changing, disrupting inventories, but
industries.
Yeah. But having fun is important to you at this point.
I mean, yeah, because it's rewarding. I'm competitive in everything, but I stick to things I can be good at.
Yeah, well, that's the pattern in everything that you've done, right? You've found what you've been really good at, and you've just gone deeper and deeper into it and had more and more focus.
Exactly.
I read last week, or maybe it was the week before, that you'd started a big sports fund now.
Yeah.
What is your plan there?
So Harbinger is with the guy, Rashawn Williams, who's a guest shark.
Amazing.
Yeah, so he came to
good.
Me. Yeah, and so he was like, hey, we want to do this fund. Would you help? I'm like, sure.
For sure. That's right up your alley, right?
So I can help
but
you.
But you sold the Mavs now.
What's that?
You sold the Mavs now,
I still have 27%, but I don't have controlling interest.
Oh, is that hard for you, Mark?
Because that's not the way it was supposed to be, but that's a whole nother conversation.
I mean, we've had this conversation. I was like, did you know?
Yeah, especially there was the first Luka game.
It was the first Luka game that we were at, and I was like,
God, and you were
I don't know about that.
I
was giving you shit because I was like, I think this was not good. I think this was not a good move. You're like, what do you know?
And all of LA is just like, thanks, Mark.
I was like, I'm going to ask the question that everybody wants to know. I was like, did you know, and why did you do that?
I didn't know, and I didn't, and I was supposed to be in charge of it, but yeah. He gave me a lot of money and changed his mind, so I kept the money.
What are you going to do? Well, thank you. We're happy to have him. That's all I can say. But go back to the sports fund for me. So it's not too hurtful.
But no, so what we want to do is minority interest in sports franchises are hard to sell sometimes. And so we just want to create a marketplace, a vibrant marketplace with some transparency for anybody in a major sports franchise who maybe their families have owned it for 30 years and they own 1% or 5%. So it's more for minority ownerships, not to try to get control.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's it. Are you spending a lot of time on that?
No, not a lot. I just
it's
answer
more fun
questions.
For you.
Yeah, I just answer questions and connect people. Yeah.
I love that. It's just, I mean, it feels like you're never going to stop. Do you ever think that there'll be a day when you're like, I'm just going to pack it up and I'm just not working?
It's not work. It's not work. Will you ever stop thinking about all this stuff? Will you ever stop seeing something and
never? Because I really do genuinely love it. And I imagine I'm just going to like keel over one day, like mid.
Well, and it's just about allocating your time, right? So I don't have to go into an office and spend 14-hour days worrying about the furniture or whatever, right? It's just like I do almost everything via email and some Zooms, right? So I'm meeting with pharmacy companies over Zoom and whoever. And I mean, literally, there's not a minute of it that I don't love. Like, it sounds great. It is fun for me to learn all this pharmacy shit. And people are like, wait, you're the Shark Tank guy. You're not supposed to know all this. I'm like, it's important. I put in the time and I learned it. And then how do you apply AI to all this and learn all this stuff for our manufacturing so that we can be the lowest cost provider versus everyone else in the world? Stuff is fun. Once, like you were saying, once you find something that you love to do, and it's fun, just keep on doing it or finding new applications. So, I don't see a reason to stop any of the stuff that I like to do.
Why would you?
Yeah.
Well, honestly, I'm so happy to speak to you because I just think that you are one of the most inspiring, honest people.
That.
And I honestly, from the day that I first met you, I was like, this Mark guy is like all that he cracks up to be. You're the least disappointing person in the world. Let's say that.
That's okay. That's a hell of a scale to be on, but I'll take it.
It's a great compliment because everybody you ever meet, you build them up in your head, and then you're like,
if you knew
that's
everything,
disappointing.
yeah, trust me, if you knew everything, look,
Well, don't tell me. I've had enough.
No, but like we all do, right? We all do dumb shit. And
we all do dumb shit.
Yeah.
No, but it's really interesting, Mark, because I think that success does funny things to people, and it's amazing when you can be as open and as giving and still have these like really big aspirations to make things, to have your fun, but to make things better. I think it's really impressive.
Do this and what could
it's
be
the best. It's the best in the world.
Ever.
It's the best ever.
The least disappointing podcast I've ever done.
I'll take it. I'll definitely take it. I've only got rapid fire for you now.
Okay.
All right. The first thing you do when you wake up and the last thing you do before you go to bed, please.
Take a shit.
I didn't know we were going to get that honesty. But that is so true.
I was going to give you
You're
the
the
normal
only
answer.
person who is ever going to say that. I'm going to run a compilation of these and be like, take a shit.
I was like, I can tell her what I normally say, but that would be no.
Manifesting, meditating. No.
Yeah, like check my emails. For
whatever.
problems.
No, take a shit. Damn right. Literally the best.
You want me to
I should have
change
asked
it?
that question last because now we can't recover. This is what I mean. Like, you're the best. Who would say that? And this is what we need, a president that just like does that.
Mr.
Like,
President.
Mr. President. What
Excuse
did you
me, guys.
do?
Lactose intolerant. Gotta go.
Amazing. Okay. That is amazing. What are you currently aspiring for in your business life and in your personal life?
Personal life, just more time with my kids.
Mm-hmm.
Just with them wanting me instead of me dragging it. And professional, just fucking up the healthcare industry and really changing it in this country.
What's a book that changed your life?
It's good. Probably several of the Ayn Rand books, like The Fountainhead was big. A couple of her books, yeah.
Love.
Yeah.
Any of those.
Yeah, like Howard Rourke was like my role model. He was like a guy in her books that just didn't care what other people thought, just focused on learning and trying to be the best he could be in his mind. And so that kind of was model. Like a lot of people think, well, that's, too laissez-faire and too libertarian.
Mm-hmm.
But that part didn't matter. It was just like, this was a guy who was just like all about not caring and just going for it.
Love that. Clearly role model. What is something you valued when you were starting out that you don't anymore?
Probably status. I remember after I sold my first company, going into bars, thinking to myself, I'm richer than you. I'm richer than you. I'm richer than you. Just dumb shit that guys
You mean
did.
you don't walk into bars thinking that anymore?
I already know.
Oh. All right. Something that you value now that you didn't back in the days.
Kindness, empathy, probably the most. Yeah, I wasn't real empathetic at all when I was first getting started. It was just like, go, 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 go. If you're in my way, get the fuck out of my way.
Mm-hmm.
That was it. And now, then I went literally kicking, but now it was just like, okay, I'm sorry. Let me see if I can help you. This isn't a fit. That isn't a fit. But, if I can answer any questions or do anything for you, I'm happy to.
Thank you, Mark. You're the best.
That was great,
This
Emma. I
was
really
heaven.
enjoyed it. It was really, really good.
Thanks for joining me on the Aspire podcast. For more strategies on how to build the life of your dreams, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel.